Now we'll crochet the back piece, divided into 3 areas: the body, the underarm, and the shoulder neck part. We'll start with a foundation chain, and crochet from bottom to top. First, let's crochet the body. Pick up the corresponding yarn. Hold the yarn properly with your left hand. Pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the hook with your right hand. Place it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around. Left hand, thumb, and middle finger. Pinch the crossing point of the yarn tail. Wrap the yarn around the hook once, then draw the yarn through. This starting knot doesn't count as one stitch. Gently tighten it slightly. Now start crocheting chains downward. The exact number of chains here refers to the chart. Once you've completed the required chains, the foundation chain is done. My sample has fewer stitches here. Now start crocheting the first row. First, make 3 chains. Here, the turning chain still counts as 1 double crochet. Move downward and pick the 5th chain position from right to left. Pay attention, the loop on the hook doesn't count as 1 stitch. Start counting from the braid next to it. Crochet 1 double crochet at this position. Let me first show you the position. The right side of the chain looks like a V-shaped braid. Pick the outer half loop of the braid. Like this single strand. Insert the hook and crochet. Continue after completing. Pick the front loop of each chain braid respectively. Crochet 3 double crochets correspondingly into each stitch. Add the starting turning chain and 1 double crochet. At this point, 5 stitches are completed. Crochet 1 chain space downward. Skip 1 chain underneath. Continue to the left and crochet 4 double crochets correspondingly 1 by 1. One chain space behind. Skip 1 chain underneath. Proceed with 4 double crochets afterward. Alternate with 1 chain. After finishing the chain, always skip 1 chain underneath. Follow this method. Continue crocheting downward. Finish crocheting this chain. Skip 1 stitch underneath. There are 5 braids remaining downward. Crochet double crochets correspondingly 1 by 1. After completion, the first row is done. Both the beginning and end of this row have 5 double crochets. Crochet the second row downward. First, make 1 chain to begin, then turn the piece counterclockwise. This row is crocheted on the wrong side. Next, pick up the stitch of the double crochet underneath. Crochet 1 single crochet here. Four chain spaces. Skip 4 double crochets on the left side, then pick up the chain space. Crochet 1 single crochet. 4 chain spaces. Pick up the chain spaces one by one, correspondingly crochet single crochets, 4 chain spaces between. Crochet the last single crochet into the last chain space. Crochet 4 chains downward. Skip 4 double crochets below. The next is the position for the double crochet starting chain. Pick up the 3rd chain. Here you can turn to the right side. Meaning the loop next to the double crochet. Pick up 2 strands and crochet 1 single crochet. Row 2 is completed. Continue with row 3. The method is the same as row 1, except the way of inserting the hook is slightly different. Start with 3 chains. Turn. Pick up the adjacent chain space downward. Work 4 double crochets. One chain space. Then skip the single crochet position. Pick up the chain space and work 4 double crochets. One chain space. Continue picking up chain spaces, and work 4 double crochets each time. Leave 1 chain space between each group of 4 stitches. Continue crocheting. Complete the 4 double crochets in the last chain space. Pick up the single crochet position along the edge downward. Work 1 double crochet. Match up with the starting position. Row 3 is now complete. You can now compare the length with the front piece. And also check the height against the chart. If the dimensions are close enough, you can gently stretch the piece. If there's a significant difference, it's recommended to adjust your tension, or switch to a different hook size and recrochet. Now work on row 4. Start with 1 chain. Turn. Insert the hook into the corresponding stitch below and work 1 single crochet. Then pick up the chain spaces, and work single crochets in each, with 4 chains apart. When you reach the turning chain, pick up both strands of the 3rd chain. Work 1 single crochet. Row 4 is completed. The remaining rows in the back are the same as the previous 2 rows. From now on, repeat the method of the first 2 rows. Refer to the chart, crochet until you complete the corresponding rows for the body. No need to cut the yarn after completing. That's all for the body section. Next, let's crochet the underarm area. At the beginning, leave unworked some stitches on both sides. Later, you'll need to decrease stitches on both sides. The remaining part is worked even without increasing or decreasing. Same method applies for some sizes. I'll explain by dividing into 2 cases. The new stitch techniques used are DC2 tog and SC2 tog. Both cases will involve these new stitch techniques. Everyone can learn the method first. Please watch my demonstration. I'll start with the first case. Here, I'm demonstrating with a small sample. First, work the first row. At the beginning, leave out a few double crochet positions. Here, use a slip stitch to pick up the yarn. Make 1 chain as your turning chain. Then turn the piece. Pick up the adjacent double crochet below. Pay attention, it's above the second stitch on the left side. Work slip stitches evenly into each stitch. Keep working until the chain space. Down to the chain space position. Pick up the space and work 1 single crochet. The next 4 chain spaces follow. Pick up each space below and work single crochets, with 4 chain spaces in between. Keep crocheting until the last chain space. Complete the corresponding position. Leave the remaining stitches unworked. That's the end of the first row explanation. Now work the second row. Make 3 turning chains. Turn. Pick up the chain spaces below. Work 4 double crochets, with 1 chain space in between. Keep crocheting until just before the last space. Reach the corresponding position. Pick up the space and work 3 double crochets. Then pick up this space and the adjacent single crochet. Work a DC2 tog. Make 1 unclosed double crochet each. 1, 2. Finally yarn over. Draw through all the loops on your hook in once. Complete the DC2 tog. That's the end of explaining the second row. Next, we'll work on the third row. First, make 1 chain. Turn. Skip the stitch corresponding to the turning chain on the left. Pick up 1 stitch on the left side, which means skipping the decrease position. Work 1 single crochet here. Then make 2 chains. Next, pick up the chain spaces and work single crochets, with 4 chains between them. Keep working until the last chain space. Now reaching the corresponding position. First, work 1 single crochet, then make 2 chains. Then, skip 2 stitches to the left. Work a SC2 tog. First, pick up the corresponding stitch. Insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. There are 2 loops on your hook. This is an unclosed single crochet. Continue with an adjacent unclosed single crochet. Insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. There are 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the SC2 tog. Leave the remaining beginning chain unworked. That's the end of row 3. Now work on row 4. Start with 3 chains. Turn. Pick up the chain space to the left and work 2 double crochets. One chain space interval. Crochet 4 double crochets correspondingly in the following stitches, and 1 chain. Keep crocheting until you reach the last chain space. Now you've reached the corresponding position. Pick up the 2 chain space below. Work 1 double crochet. Then pick up the chain space, and the left single crochet beside it. Work a DC2 tog. First, make unclosed double crochets separately. Finally, yarn over. Draw through all 3 loops on your hook in one go. Complete the DC2 tog. That's the explanation for row 4. Now move on to row 5. First, chain 2. Then turn over. Skip the 2 stitches and the chain position below to the left. Pick up the next stitch and work a single crochet. Then work a 3 chain space. Skip 3 stitches below. Work a single crochet in the next chain space, with 4 chain spaces in between. Continue all the way to the second to last chain space position. Complete the corresponding position. Work 3 chains downward. Skip 3 stitches below. Pick up the next stitch and work a single crochet. Then, skip the chain position and 1 double crochet. Pick up the next double crochet position and work a single crochet. Leave the remaining turning chains unworked. That's the end of row 5 explanation. Now work row 6. Start with 3 chains. Turn. Pick up the chain space downward. Work double crochets and chains accordingly. Continue all the way to the last 2 spaces. Reach the corresponding position. Pick up the next adjacent space and work 2 double crochets. Then pick up this space and the next space. Work a DC2 tog. That's the end of row 6 explanation. Continue to crochet row 7. First make 1 chain. After turning, pick up 1 stitch on the left side, and work a single crochet. For the rest, follow the chart accordingly. Continue all the way to the position of the last chain space. Crochet to the corresponding position. Work 1 chain space going down, then pick up 2 double crochets next to the turning chain. Work a SC2 tog. First, work unclosed single crochets separately. 1, 2. Finally, yarn over. Draw through in once. Complete the SC2 tog. That's the end of row 7 explanation. The remaining part still needs decreases. The method is the same as before. After finishing the decrease row, the remaining part will be worked even. The method is similar to the body. From now on, please refer to the chart. Just finish crocheting the remaining part. That's the end of the first scenario explanation. The second scenario uses the same method. Here I'll explain using a sample. Row 1, use slip stitches 2. Carry the yarn to the corresponding position. Then start crocheting. At the end here, after finishing the corresponding chains, you need to crochet a slip stitch on the corresponding double crochet. After that, for row 2, start with 1 chain. Turn over. Then pick up chain spaces to the left, using slip stitches to carry the yarn along. Continue crocheting downward. At the end of the back sections, after finishing the corresponding chains, crochet a slip stitch. The method is the same as row 1. At the same time, after completing the corresponding decrease rows, the remaining rows are worked evenly. The specific stitch techniques and insertion points can be directly referenced from the chart. With that, the underarm parts for both situations are explained. Next, crochet the shoulder neck area. This part also has 2 situations. The crochet method is the same. The stitches used have been demonstrated earlier. Here I'll use a completed sample to explain. This side of the shoulder neck continues from the previous yarn tail. Work back and forth. During crocheting, some areas need to be skipped. Once completed, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. The other shoulder neck is on the wrong side. Find the corresponding position to join the yarn. Then work back and forth. Once completed, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Next, follow the chart for further steps. Just complete the shoulder neck crocheting. This concludes the explanation for the back piece. Next is joining the front and back pieces. This includes shoulder connection and body connection. Let's start with the shoulders. The method is the same for all sizes. I'll demonstrate using a sample. Pick up the color of the back piece. Then position the right side of the back piece facing you, aligning it with the wrong side of the front piece. Match up the shoulders. Start by connecting one side at the very edge of the back piece. Join the yarn. Make 1 chain as your turning chain, then pick up the very edge of the front piece. Draw the loop through. Connect once like this. Continue down with 1 chain. Go back to the back piece. Position separated by 1-2 stitches. Here the shoulders of the front and back pieces are aligned. Pick up a corresponding position to make the connection. Draw the loop through. Another connection is completed. Continue with 1 chain. Pick up a corresponding position on the piece on the other side. Make the connection. Continue down following this method. Keep connecting. Finish connecting the edge position. Continue with 1 chain. Go back to the edge on the other side. Work 1 slip stitch to secure. Finally cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail to the wrong side. One side of the shoulder is now connected. After you finish here, check if the piece lies flat. If it's not quite flat, you can adjust the insertion point and connect again. The method for connecting the other shoulder is the same. Simply connect from one edge inward to the other edge. When inserting the hook, pick up a roughly corresponding position. Everyone follow the same method to complete the connection of the other shoulder. Next, we'll connect the body. The method is the same as for the shoulder connection. The same method applies for all sizes. I'll demonstrate using a small sample. Still using the color from the back piece. Start connecting from the edge of the back body. Begin the connection. Attach the front piece to the second row position under the arm. During the connecting process, pick up chain spaces on the front piece and insert the hook into the center stitch of the leaf. On the back piece, pick up approximately corresponding positions on each row. Under the arm, pick up approximately corresponding positions. All are crocheted with chains. Then draw the loop through from the corresponding piece. Connection is complete. Finally, along the edge, crochet slip stitches to secure, then cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tails to the wrong side of the piece. After connecting, check if the piece lies flat. Adjust the insertion position as needed. Next, connect the body section completely. That concludes the explanation of the connection part. Next, crochet the neckline. Begin with a foundation chain. Work back and forth, row by row. Here, you'll need to finish one row, and begin the next row. Work and join along the edge of the piece. The method is the same for all sizes. Next, I'll demonstrate the specific crochet technique. Here, I'll use a sample for the demonstration. Position the back piece facing you, then on the inner side of the right shoulder. Pick up the connection point on the wrong side and attach the yarn. Then crochet 9 chains. Next, start from the third chain, from the end of the foundation chain. Insert the hook into the top loop of the chain. Work half double crochets into each corresponding chain. Complete the last chain. Pick up one strand from the last chain. At the position adjacent to the piece, crochet one special half double crochet. Now the special half double crochet is done, and it's connected to the piece. The first row is now completed. Next, work the second row. Start with one chain. Turn to the right side. From a roughly corresponding position on the side, draw the loop through. Finish the connection. Go down. Pick between the half double crochets. The small horizontal bar underneath the connection. Work half double crochets into each corresponding chain. When reaching the position of the chain and the adjacent half double crochet, pick up the gap or the chain above. Insert the hook and work one half double crochet. This completes the second row. Now work the third row. Start with a chain 1. Turn. Go down and pick the small horizontal bar between the half double crochets. Work half double crochets into each corresponding stitch. The number of half double crochets here will be one less than the previous row. Go down and pick the strand at the back of the adjacent stitch, and the roughly corresponding position on the piece. Work one special half double crochet to join. This completes the third row. Now work the fourth row. Start with a chain 1. Turn to the right side. Pick the roughly corresponding position on the side. Draw the loop through. Work half double crochets into each corresponding stitch. The last stitch goes into the turning chain and into the gap between the adjacent half double crochets. You can also insert the hook into the braid on top to crochet. The fourth row is now completed. Next, work the fifth row. Start with a chain 1. Turn and work half double crochets into each corresponding stitch. Again, one stitch less than the previous row. Then work 1 special half double crochet to join. The 5th row is completed. Afterwards, follow the same method as the previous 2 rows. And continue crocheting row by row. When finishing an odd-numbered row here, crochet a special half double crochet to join. At the beginning of an even-numbered row, first work 1 chain, then pick up a corresponding position on the piece, and pull up a loop, to complete the connection. Afterwards, everyone follow this method. To finish crocheting the neckline area, check as you crochet along. Check if the completed section of piece lies flat. If it's not quite flat, adjust the connection position and recrochet. After finishing the last row, connect downwards to the starting point. Here, join with a slip stitch. First carry the yarn across. Pull up the loop. Then pull the yarn ball through the loop. And gently tighten it. Complete carrying the yarn across. Next, pull the yarn through the previous joining spot. Don't pull the yarn too tight. Keep it level with the piece. Insert the hook into the remaining half of the starting chain below the stitch space of the half double crochet on this side, and the stitch of the last row of half double crochets. Place the carried yarn on top. Then work 1 slip stitch. Continue from here on. Insert into the adjacent stitch the remaining half of the chain, and the side next to it. Stitch position. Crochet a slip stitch. Continue crocheting following this method. After working 1-2 slip stitches with the carried yarn, switch its position to the other side. Finally, cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail into the backside. This completes the joining of the beginning and ending. This completes the explanation of the neckline section. Next, crochet the cuffs and hem. The method is similar to that of the neckline, only the stitch count is different. Here, pick up stitches at the underarm area for the cuff, and along the edge of the motif below for the hem, as well as along the edge of the back piece. All of these are connected while crocheting the edging. Position for connecting the cuff. Simply insert the hook into a corresponding position. The connection position and row count aren't fixed, as long as the finished piece lies flat. To create the hem, with a curved shape that tucks in at the sides. Here, along the edge of the motif. The section in the middle going inward. Crochet a bit tighter as you work. 1 leaf plus a chain roughly corresponds to 3 rows. When crocheting the remaining 2 sides, slightly looser. 1 leaf roughly corresponds to 2 rows. The corresponding area for the back piece. Hook out the same number of rows as the front piece. After finishing the crochet, take a look if the piece lies flat. For the following parts, refer to the chart. Finish crocheting the cuffs and hem. Up to this point, the entire vest is completed. That's all for the explanation. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.